So today we're going to be taking a look at the new gaming mice from Glorious PC Gaming Race, the Model O- wireless and a Model D- wireless. And I have about 5 other mice we're going to be comparing this to. We're going to be taking, again, a deep look at these mice. And you all know where I have to start with my gaming mice reviews, especially from Glorious, because I know everyone's going to be asking about that QC. How is that QC on the Glorious mice? And just for a peace of mind before we dive into the D- wireless and then the O- wireless, this is the D- wired. You all remember I had issues with this? I'm just going to show you again. Like, who's going to be pressing on the bottom? Probably nobody, right? But just for the fact of it, look at that. Holy stinking moly. Piece of junk right there. I stated to this day, that thing is garbage, right? Let's go right into the D- wireless here. Yo, rock solid, no joke. And again, some people are like, you're just saying that now, or this, that, or the other. They say something goofy in the comments, right? There's proof for you right there. That D- wired is a flexy piece of junk. I don't know if they fixed it yet. I haven't dabbled with it, but there's your proof. That's how that is. Bam, look at this. I'm even pressing this harder. No budging, no flexing, no rattling, no nothing. This thing is solid. Now taking a look at the O- here, exact same thing. Rock solid on the bottom, on the sides, towards the back, towards the front, by the buttons, no rattling, no nothing. Again, guys, I think Glorious has made incredible moves here lately as far as their QC. I stinking love it. The regular D wireless is my main. It's rock solid. I'm still maining to this day, and it is still rock solid. And both of these guys are as well. Now, as far as button placement and the clicks on both mice, again, as you saw in the grip, perfect position, especially over here on the O- because I'm fingertipping it. Bam, the buttons are right there. I love it. Same with the D, since it's kind of sitting back in your hand a little bit more, kind of relaxed. Buttons are right there. As far as the sound of them, very crispy. Now on both mice, yes, you get to take advantage of the Glorious software, which I'm not going to show because we all have seen it 100 times now. On the bottom, on both of them, you got your power button, your DPI light right there. Same RGB on the side. Now I have my RGB set to like 20% here with 2 big lights on. And as you can see, it's still pretty vibrant right here. You know, I just keep my RGB lower to save some battery life and not to blind me. And yes, for all of you crazed USB-C fans out there, these mice do charge by USB-C. Now, as far as weight of both mice, the O- wireless is 64.3 we're getting right there. Coming over to the D- wireless, we're gonna get 68.6. And both of them are, no joke, incredibly lightweight, very nice and balanced. For them being smaller mice, you all hear me say all the time, you know, we all like to harp on weight. Again, it's really shape and how is that mouse fitting in your hands is the way I believe. With these being so lightweight and everything, with them filling out my hand quite nice and just the curves, again, they're incredibly balanced. They feel nice. They don't feel top heavy, front heavy, back heavy, or anything. Very balanced, again, across both mice. So as far as dimensions, here you go. Here's the numbers. They are the minus. They are the smaller version. If you're curious, here is the big D stacked up to the minus. And then again, the big O stacked up to the O- right there. And as you can see, the numbers are quite different. And yes, when you put both of these mice in your hand, starting with the O over here, it's gonna fill out your hand, right? Coming right over to the mini, you can just clearly as day see, right like that, when you look them underneath, that's where you're really gonna notice, right? And you tell in your hand. For me, bam, it's like that, just floating on the back end. Coming over to the O, it actually kind of sits back in my palm. I love the O over here. Coming over to the D- again, it still sits in my palm because you have that plump bump right there. Plump bump, I like it. Anyways, and you got that little swoop out right here. So it still sits in your hand real nice. Now, when I'm playing, I'm dabbling with Call of Duty, I tend to kind of pull it up a little bit. And again, I got that gap up there, but it's still kind of resting in my hand to control some of my shots. Talking about that, coming over to the big D, bam, look at that sucker. I mean, it is in my hand. That's what I like right there. But again, the great thing, talking about all those multiple grips, there's gonna be something for you with one of these shapes. So that's the core shape, dimensions, and feel of the mice, but I wanna give you some comparisons just so again, you kind of wrap this around your head and be like, all right, it's like that, not like that, whatever. So anyways, let's get some comparisons here. And we're gonna start with the O- wireless here, and I'm gonna pull out the Viper Mini. If you've been waiting for that Viper Mini wireless, bam, this is it right here. Putting it in your hand, again, sitting right like that, bam. Coming over to the Mini, again, it feels a spitting image. Even though the Viper's lighter, even in the hand, they still feel quite similar. Now, since I'm doing that comparison there, the other thing you're probably thinking is, yo, Techne, how about that Ponage Sim 2? I stated this was the Viper Mini before, right? Going 1-to-1 here, this has a plumper hump right in the back. You might be able to see right here. My black mouse pad underneath there is kind of throwing our colors off. But again, the Ponage has a slight bigger hump back there and you feel it. Okay, it's hitting right on my knuckles right there. Coming over to the Minus, look at that. You see that gap right here? I can put my finger in there. Over here, it stops. Okay, so for me, the Ponage feels a little bit better because again, it's bigger. I like a bigger mouse, right? But if you want that smaller, straight fingertip flick and dip, fast move, I think that's where the O is gonna sit in for you real nicely. Now taking a look at some comparisons with the D- wireless, number one, out the gate is the new Zowie EC3C, if I'm saying that right. So just looking at the Zowie right here, like you said, you got that plump, right? You got that plump ergo shape really swooping around there. Exact same on the D. Okay, pretty much a spitting image. Heck, even the side buttons, right? Even the front, the little elevation up front there, how it swoops down a little bit over there. Almost the exact same. As you can see right down there at the bottom, swoops in over here, swoops in over there. To a T, guys. I can't stress it enough. You all know I'm a plump ergo mouse fan, right? These feel pretty much 99% the exact same. It could be me just messing with my head. Maybe the hole's throwing me off. I feel like the EC3C kind of rolls in through my hand a little bit more. It's so minor, guys. I'd say they're more of a spitting image than anything. Now, I want to go a completely different route as far as this last comparison, because when I was using this mouse, I was just like, yo, something's in the back of my mind just saying, yo, it's so much like this, or just, it feels like this. I'm getting these kind of feels and this kind of play with it, you know? I know you guys can be like, yo, what? That's totally different, but I got to share it with you, right? And that is the G Pro Wireless, the X, the Superlight right here, right? Talking about that hump hitting me in the back tail end right there, it just sits in my hand, as you can see, with my grip style. This can be different for everybody, right? But talking about my experience here. You see how it's sitting in my hand? Come over here to the D, right? You see? I got that same grip, side buttons right there. Touching palm, touching over there. Now again, if I get in fast pace, I tend to fingertip this guy and still dip with it. Same thing over here with the G Pro Superlight, right? It's just, the G Pro Superlight's a little bit longer, just a pinch as you can see, just slightly. But again, as far as in the hand, it just kept hitting me. I was like, yo, I'm just feeling like I'm using a Superlight. It was really crazy, guys. All right, guys, so we covered dimensions, feel, comparisons, everything. If you're interested in the ever so boring specs, which are pretty much the exact same as we've seen in the other wireless, well, here you go. There they are right there. So compiling all that information we just talked about, I mean, we can look at numbers all day, the dimensions, the specs, boring. The most important thing we can do here is talk about my experience actually using these mice and gaming with them, right? Heck, we can all go watch the ad on Glorious Sites and read the specs all along, but using these mice, I had a blast with them, with mainly the D-. Coming over here to the O-, for me, guys, you all know, it's too small. It is small, but I love the quality. Like, it's just, again, I know people are gonna be out there and be like, you know, but Glorious has come a long way with their build and their quality. And this thing's stinking solid. But again, as far as my use, playing a lot of Call of Duty with these mice, after a long session, the O- is just tiny. It's really just based on that flicking and dipping right there. Yo, it's so tiny for me. It's tiny. One thing I did notice with it though, the side button location again, I love it because again, I'm fingertipping this guy, side buttons, bam, are right there. That was really awesome there. Now, where I had the most fun is the D- right here. Again, kind of with those comparisons, it's almost like hybrid, right? If you like those ambi mice, but you don't want the big D that's too big, you come over to this little guy. You can still fingertip flick and dip it, but you can still rest your hand on it. It was really nice, and I had a lot of fun with this mouse, more than I thought I would, because you all know, again, I main the big D, right? But say if the big D, you can't get that girthiness in your hand, you need something a little bit smaller to handle, the minus is, again, it's a really fun one. Even if you're not an Ergo fan, I think you have a blast with this one here. And with both mice coming in at $79.99, I mean, it's a great deal. It is. The quality, the build, the performance, the features, I think it screams value. Now, as a consumer, I'm sure some use as well, like, yo, the big O wireless and the big D wireless are also the same price. I don't know, me just as a basic consumer, like, yo, it's smaller, can you shave off 10 bucks? I don't know, maybe that's just me, you know what I mean? I stated this before, funny story, right? I go to the fast food joint, you know what I mean? Get me a burrito or something, like, yo, skip the cheese. I don't get no credit, you know what I mean? But if I add cheese, they're gonna charge me extra 25 cents. Yo, what's going on here? I don't get it. Same type of situation here. Again, I still think they scream the value, they're worth the price, but just in my consumer mind, it's like, yo, they're smaller, shave some money off them. But all in all, thank you so much for stopping by and watching this one. I hope I helped you out, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for future tech videos. Hey, I hope to catch you in the next one. Bye now.